Hey Year 9s, welcome to week 7. So we're doing a bit of a continuation on from Pythagoras, and this moves on to what we call trigonometry. And this week we're looking at trigonometric ratios. It's a bit of a tongue twister, as you can tell. So what this video is this is just going to explain what trig ratios are, how to label the sides of a triangle, and so on. So if we look at these quick notes here, so for a right angle triangle with a angle named, this is called theta, this little symbol here. Alright, so you're going to get pretty used to hearing theta. Okay, so unlike Pythagoras, where we could swap A and B around at any time, with trigonometry, because we've been given another angle outside of the 90-degree angle, that means that the sides then become more specific. So the hypotenuse stays the same. So if you remember, your hypotenuse is the longest side, and it's also directly opposite the 90-degree angle. So if you go here, see how that's directly opposite? This is our hypotenuse. So I'm just going to label it as H in this. Okay? Then what we've got is our next one is the opposite side, which is opposite the angle theta. Okay, so we're talking about the side that is opposite. So if we look here, this side here, it's not opposite the angle because it's touching the angle, which must mean this side here will be our opposite. So O, because it is opposite the angle. And that leaves us with one last side, the adjacent side. Now it's the side that has both the right angle, so that this little square here, and the other angle on it, touching that side. And that's the big giveaway for doing this, is that for A, is that it always has both angles touching it. So if we go to our second triangle here, and we go label it again, I'm going to start by finding my adjacent side, because if I know that the adjacent side always has the angle and the right angle, they're going to go together. So that means this one here is going to be our adjacent side, because it's got both angles touching it. Okay, then let's do our hypotenuse, the one that's directly opposite our right angle, this guy here. And that's our hypotenuse, because it's also the longest side of the triangle. That part has not changed at all. And that leaves us with one side left, our opposite, because it is opposite our angle. Okay, so that's how we label these triangles. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the 3 trig ratios. Alright, so sine, cos, and tan. Okay, so sine. So even though it looks like sin, it's always pronounced sine. Then we've got cosine, shortened to cos, and then tangent, which is shortened to tan. Alright, and so then we're given these ratios by saying sine of whatever angle it is equals the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So in brackets I've put so here. And this becomes important a little bit later down. Alright, it's a good little helper. Alright, then our next one is cos of angle equals our adjacent side over hypotenuse. And then our last of the ratios is tan, which is our opposite side over our adjacent side. So now these little helpers are going to come in handy here, because you're going to hear so, ka, toa a lot. And it's really just actually helpful for remembering these ratios. So helps you remember sine is opposite over hypotenuse, because S is for sine, O is for opposite, and H is for hypotenuse. Okay, then we've got ka, so for cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Alright, so if you're starting to notice, the first letter is what these are standing for. Then our last one, toa, is tan, opposite over adjacent. So if you write on every page so, ka, toa, to help you remember which of these ratios you're going to come across, it actually comes so much easier, because you're not having to try and remember them and go back. It's a simple, oh, I've got my opposite and I've got my hypotenuse, that means I'm going to be doing sine. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So in the examples video, I'm going to show you how to label the sides and how to write a trig ratio using SOHCAHTOA and these ratios. I'll see you next video.